yogis. Does everybody have a chant sheet? So what I would say to you, those of you who are learning Kapalabhati, don't think that because it doesn't come really naturally to you that there's anything wrong. It's like when I teach beginners courses, usually half the class really struggle with Kapalabhati. And it is because some people are just very naturally upper chest breathers. And if you are an upper chest breather, it means that your diaphragm gets slightly stuck, your diaphragm muscle. And then it's not good because it creates a lot of tension in the upper body, and it means that your breath is always going to be quite shallow. And so learning to get the diaphragm moving freely, which is what happens when you make the abdomen rise and fall freely while isolating the chest, upper chest, and the rib cage, learning to do that is really important. And once you can do that, you'll find Kapalabhati will come quite freely. But without it, you will always struggle with Kapalabhati. So that's the first stage. Learn that first, and then we'll move on. It's often done, even a lot of people who have done Kapalabhati for a long period of time, I often find that people don't actually fully understand it, and it's not necessarily correct. So it's worth recapping it every now and again. Inhale deeply for Om. Om Maitreya Namaha. Om Maitreya Namaha. Om Ravi Namaha. Om Ravi Namaha. Om Surya Namaha. Om Surya Namaha. Om Banave Namaha. Om Banave Namaha. Om Kagaya Namaha. Om Kagaya Namaha. Om Pushni Namaha. Om Pushni Namaha. Om Hiranyagabeya Namaha. Om Hiranyagabeya Namaha. Om Mariche Namaha. Om Mariche Namaha. Om Maricheya Namaha. Om Maricheya Namaha. Om Savitre Namaha. Om Savitre Namaha. Om Makeya Namaha. Om Makeya Namaha. Om Bhaskareya Namaha. Om Bhaskareya Namaha. Together. Om Maitreya Namaha. Om Raveya Namaha. Om Sareya Namaha. Om Banave Namaha. Om Kagaya Namaha. Om Pushni Namaha. Om Hiranyagabeya Namaha. Om Mariche Namaha. Om Savitre Namaha. Om Savitre Namaha. Om Ake Namaha. Om Bhaskareya Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om peace peace peace. Bring your hands into Anjali Mudra. Offer your practice today to a place in nature that's brought light into your life. Visualize that holy place and dedicate your practice to it. Namaste. Sorry, I got my Adichaya and my Savitre mixed up there. So we are looking at the longer explanations of the Surya Namaskar mantras. And last week we got up to Om Banave Namaha. So now we're Om Kagaya Namaha. Kagaya. Salutations to he who moves quickly in the sky. So in Kagaya, we are in Chaturanga Dandasana. It is the sun's daily movement through the sky which is the basis of our measurement of time. From the earliest use of a sundial to the sophisticated devices used today, in Chaturanga Dandasana, we offer obeisances to the one by whom time is measured and pray for progress in life. So this is kind of odd. It's interesting, and this is true, obviously, but from a yogic perspective, time isn't measured in the normal way. Time isn't measured by the normal yearly calendar, by month and years. And also for yogis, the duration of one's life isn't measured in years. It's measured in breaths. So that's the way the yogis calculate time and the way the yogis calculate age. And the idea is that the yogis breathe slower and longer and more deeply than other humans. How's that working? So this is one of the reasons that Kapalabhati is really important, because Kapalabhati is an exercise for your lungs and your diaphragm. The scriptures state clearly that the slower one breathes, the longer one lives. So it's related to longevity. And one of the things that you find is, like, experienced yogis, they not only they lower their breath rate considerably, and this lowers the heart rate. And one of the things that happens is, like, if you're carrying stress in your mind, if you're anxious, if you're always busy, if you're always running around, and you aren't able to pay attention to your breath, then the breath becomes short, and the breath becomes even agitated, and the breath isn't really full and slow enough to give rest to the organs of the body and the places in the body where dis-ease can manifest if there are blockages in the prana. So when you're breathing fully and deeply and efficiently, the blockages in the physical body are continually released because the flow of prana in the body is free. This is the way the yogis look at health. So the idea is that the two things that modern science has actually also made it very clear now that the majority of diseases which manifest in the body are stimulated by stress in the mind. So if you reduce stress in the mind, there's two ways you can do it. The easiest way for a hatha yogi like us is to regulate the breath. The other way to reduce stress in the mind is through meditation. But meditation is more difficult if the prana is agitated. So the idea is to bring the prana under control and to make the breath long through hatha yoga and pranayama. And that's what we do, don't we? In the asana practice, we move slowly, we breathe deeply, we control the breath, we control the pattern of the breath. The longer exhales, the shorter inhales, the longer inhales, the shorter exhales, the pauses between breaths, the bandhas which activate the internal organs and the energy between inhale and exhale, etc. All this stuff is designed to help you to have a longer breath. You have a longer breath, you will have a more healthy and longer life. Does that make sense? So it's a very simple equation, a very simple way to look at, keeping your mind, body healthy. All the other things we do are all part of that, but it's important to understand. And that is how a yogi measures his life. A yogi doesn't think about years and age. The yogi thinks about quality of breath and quality of prana. And that is what makes you either feel young or feel old. It's the quality of your prana. And that comes from your breath. Yes? So you probably have come across, you can be 100 years old and still full of vitality. And many yogis have been much older than 100 years and full of vitality. And there's some 20 years old who have no vitality. I can almost guarantee those people aren't breathing properly. Does that make sense? Okay, so that is a fundamental part of a yoga practice. And like animals that breathe slowly live longer. Yeah, we're just animals, aren't we? We're essentially animals. We're not essentially, we are animals. And so animals that breathe, like a dog, I don't know, what's the lifespan of a dog? 15, 20 years, if you're really lucky. You know, dogs breathe quite fast, cats breathe quite fast. Wrens breathe really fast, they don't live long. Elephants live a long time, they breathe slowly. Tortoises can live for 300 years. It's true. Sorry? King cobras. Yeah. So the animals that breathe the slowest live the longest. And the longer, and yeah, tortoises are probably the longest lived that we know of. Turtles also live a really long time. And have you ever heard of Wisdom the albatross? So there's this albatross called Wisdom, and it's a female albatross, and it lives on an island in the Pacific Ocean somewhere. Let's call it Albatross Island. And there's an American air base there, and at one point they ringed all the albatrosses because they were worried that they were going to fly into the flight paths of the planes and cause an crash. And so they ringed them, and then the ones that were all sort of like flying near the airport, they killed them all. But the ones that weren't near the airport, they left them. And one of those, I just assumed they'd all died out. And then 15 years ago, somebody who was studying the albatrosses on the island saw an albatross with a ring, and they caught it and checked it, and it was one of the original albatrosses. And it was a female albatross, and it was 70, it was 70 plus years old. And they called it Wisdom. And then for the last 15 years up to now, they've been monitoring it every year. And every year it still breeds and produces young. So, and albatrosses just lay one egg, and every year they produce one. The albatrosses are huge birds, aren't they? You know, and it produces one egg and one chick every year. I think it's nice they called it Wisdom. And so the other interesting thing about that, this is slightly off the topic, but it's like, you know, I'm guessing albatrosses, they're big birds, they probably breathe slower than most birds, you know, and they're very graceful in flight. They don't have to use a lot of effort. They've got a huge wingspan, because part about breathing is also about relaxation, isn't it? You know, when you're agitated, your breath rate rises. When you're stressed, your breath rate rises. When you're calm, when you're peaceful, then your breath rate slows. And so maybe this is a very relaxed albatross, I'm not sure. But what happens is, what I found really interesting is that it's probably one of the oldest birds on the planet now, as far as we know. It could be 80 years old. They know it's well over 75 now, or 70, 75. But the point is that it still breeds every year, and it's been through several husbands. And so what happens is, when a husband kicks a bucket, or she gets rid of it, I don't know quite what happens, it's not doing its duty. So what happens is, when a husband leaves the scene for whatever reason, obviously she gets a new mate. And what they've found is that the young albatrosses, you'd think that young albatrosses would want young girlfriends, you know, to go, but they don't. The most sought after female on the island is a 70-year-old albatross. And so they want to mate with the oldest bird. Why is that? So I'm telling you, I'm sure yeah, I'm not trying to suggest anything here. It's just like, what I'm saying is that what the young birds are going for is they're going for wisdom. That's why they call it Wisdom, the bird Wisdom. They're going for the bird with the most experience, with the most knowledge of the terrain. with the most knowledge of the seasons. And also because she's been there so long, the bird with the prime nesting site on the island. So the thing that's important to albatrosses, and I think maybe we've got this wrong as a human race, is like, it's not age, it's a wisdom. So you can think about that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but it's quite nice to think there's a 70-plus-year-old albatross, don't you think? That's still breathing. I haven't actually read the book yet, but it's a book, and it's sort of a ornithologist book. It's a kind of an academic study, and it's called The Love Life of Birds. And this is one of the articles in that book. I've only read that bit. Okay, on the front of your mat, stand in Tadasana. The one thing I would say is I wouldn't make the mistake of thinking that all old people are wise. There's some very wise young people I know. Standing in Tadasana, chest up, chin down, look hard, Ujjayi breathing. That's that slight constriction in the base of the throat, the glottis, slightly back in the throat, so that you feel that that's where the sensation is, but the sound is actually coming more from your chest. It's very low down in the throat. And this is the first technique in yoga which stretches the breath. So what Ujjayi does is it partially narrows the windpipe, so that when the breath moves through, it lengthens the breath. So Ujjayi means to lengthen, to stretch. So it stretches the breath out. This is the first technique that makes your breath longer. It also gives something for your mind to rest in as you practice. It's the mantra or the prayer of your practice. And what that does is it calms your mind. So there you've got two things, just very basic, right at the beginning, continuous in every practice, which are designed to help you be more healthy and live longer. Inhale and raise the arms on the breath. Flip your palms. And then exhale, lower the arms. And stretch the breath out. You should have a little bit of breath still exiting the lungs when the hands stop. And you should breathe in slightly before the hands move. Inhale, start the breath, then raise the arms. Finish the movement and then finish the breath. You have to concentrate, lift, and start the exhale and then lower the arms. Start the inhale, raise the arms. And then start the exhale, lower the arms. So some of you are running out of breath a little bit. When you get the arms up, you're running out of breath. So you have to move your arms a bit faster. Inhale, raise the arms. And make sure there's a little bit of breath left after you've stretched up. Yeah, relax your face and then begin the exhale and lower the arms. And a little bit of breath left when the palms touch the sides. Same again. You really have to concentrate. It's a very simple action, but you have to be very conscious of the way the breath and movement are working together. And then down. Okay. And then we'll do shoulder rotations. Begin the inhale, raise the arms. Begin the exhale, bend the knees, sweep the arms in a big circle. Straighten the legs. And then inhale. Look hard. Exhale, forward and down. Arms wide, you've got to stretch the breath out. And inhale, move the arms forward, flip the palms. Keep inhaling, arms over the head, keep inhaling. And then begin the exhale, lower the arms to the sides. So can you see that Vinyasa Krama, it's not moving with the breath, or it is moving with the breath, but it's not moving in synchronizing breath and movement in the normal way that mostly is done in Vinyasa. Normally in Vinyasa, it's inhale, exhale. Yeah? So the breath and the movement stop at the same time. In Vinyasa Krama, the breath is refined by always thinking about pauses. So the movement is never automatic. It's not a flow. You know what I mean? It's not like flow yoga. That you heard that term? Some yoga, they just call it flow yoga. It's not flow yoga. It's Vinyasa Krama. It means conscious placement of movement with breath, which is different. Do that one more time. Inhale. Bend the knees, exhale. Arch back a little bit. And then you come to vertical. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. This raises another point. Like if the movement is this, 4, 5, for example, and then the next movement is like a slightly more involved, bigger movement. Does the breath get longer? No. Samariti, we're just doing equal breathing. Breath doesn't get longer. The arms have to move faster. Does that make sense? So you really have to think. It's like you really have to concentrate on what you're doing. It isn't like, so if it's 5 seconds up, this is also 5 seconds. This is also 5 seconds. You know what I mean? So it's like if you move your arms at this speed, you might have to move your arms slightly faster to do a different movement, not just in this, but in any point in the practice. So when you're doing the vinyasas, it's equal breathing. There's places where we change that, but when you're actually doing vinyasa movements, the breathing is usually, not always, but when we're doing the hasta vinyasas like we're doing at the moment, it's equal. So you've got to think about synchronizing the movement with the breath. And that means sometimes you have to make a faster movement so the breath stays the same length. Does that make sense? Okay, let's do it with a count. Same thing. Exhale, look hard. Inhale on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5. Exhale on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5. Inhale on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5. Exhale on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5. Inhale on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5. That's a longer one, bigger movement. Let's do that bit again. So bring your hands out in front of you. And then inhale on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5. Exhale on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5. Inhale on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5. Exhale on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5. Inhale on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5. Exhale on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5. Does that make sense? Takes a lot of concentration. And the thing, what you're trying to do is eventually try and do your whole practice like that, from beginning to end, with that kind of feeling for the movement and the breath. And that's what turns it into a meditation. Just breathing and moving it gets random. So there's lots of things in this practice to make you really regulate the breath. It feels more complicated at the beginning, but when you get it, it makes a huge difference. Inhale. Exhale, hips back, fold halfway. Inhale up. Exhale halfway on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5. Hold. Inhale, arms wide on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5. Inhale, arms forward on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5. Inhale up on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5. Exhale, Tadasana on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5. And again, inhale on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5. Exhale, fold all the way. Uttanasana, 2, on 3, on 4, on 5. Inhale up on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5. You can arch back. Exhale, fold on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5. Stay there. Take the legs or the big toes or hands under the feet. Inhale, look up on 1, on 2. Slow movement. Go down again. Look up on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5. Exhale, fold on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5. And now the breath changes. Inhale on 1, on 2, on 3. Stay down. Exhale on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5, on 6. Pause, hold the breath out. Push the fingers firmly into the floor with the toes to deepen the posture. Release, inhale on 1, on 2, on 3. Exhale on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5, on 6. Navel in, hold the breath out. Push the feet firmly into the floor to press the hands into the floor. Relax the neck. And then flip the palms. Inhale, come up on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5. Chin down. Exhale, Tadasana on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4, on 5. Surya Namaskar, feet together. Inhale. Exhale. Om Maitre Namaha. Hold the breath in. Om Ravi Namaha. Exhale, fold. Hold the breath out. Om Bhanave Namaha. Little inhale, exhale, squat. Om Bhanave Namaha. Little inhale, hop or step back, lower. Om Kage Namaha. Full prostration, inhale, hold the breath, hands in prayer. Om Pushni Namaha. Chaturanga or half Chaturanga. Hold, fully exhale. Om Hiranyagabe Namaha. Inhale, upward facing dog. Om Mariche Namaha. Exhale back. Empty the lungs completely. Hold the breath out. Om Adiche Namaha. Hop or step forward, squat down. Om Savitre Namaha. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, fold. Hold the breath out. Om Ake Namaha. Inhale up. Chin down, look hard. Exhale, Anjali. Om Bhaskale Namaha. Tadasana. Inhale, just mantra. Exhale. Om Maitre Namaha. Om Radhe Namaha. Om Sare Namaha. Om Bhanave Namaha. Om Kage Namaha. Om Pushni Namaha. Om Hiranyagabe Namaha. Om Mariche Namaha. Om Adiche Namaha. Om Savitre Namaha. Om Ake Namaha. Om Bhaskare Namaha. Tadasana. So remember, there's no mantra here when you're on towards the end of the sequence. You reach up and then you bring the prayer to the heart for the last mantra. So there's something in the upward facing dog I've looked at already this week. I want to look at again today. So upward facing dog is, we looked at Chaturanga in quite a bit of detail, didn't we? 2 weeks ago? Yeah, most of you here for that? Could you just do something for me? Do you mind? Kneel down and face that way. Actually, just turn your mat and do it this way. Okay, come into a kneeling position. And then you will also, because this is something you need to work on, so it'll help you as well. So bring your knees down and come into a kneeling position. And then do your half chaturanga like you're doing. Okay, and now come to upward facing dog. So inhale, upward facing dog. Okay, you can keep your knees down, so it's easy. You okay there? Okay, so can you see, and quite a few of you are like this, can you see that her shoulders are directly over her wrists? Yeah, so in that position, which it's like her arms are acting as a prop to hold her body up, but she's not moving her chest through her arms. And when the arms are vertical like that, that's what tends to happen. You tend to get stuck in this position. So just go back to bring your hips back now. Okay, and then move your hands back. Okay, it's probably a bit much about there. And now inhale, come forward, and exhale, lower to chaturanga. And then inhale to upward facing dog. Okay, your hands need to go back a bit more. Okay, do a bit more. Bring your knees down. So can you see now that her wrists are slightly behind her center of her shoulder joint? That's where your hand should be. And like, if you're more flexible, your hands will be back even further. So are you okay there? Yeah. So the next thing to do is, like, the idea in this posture is to move the heart forward, which is quite difficult. But what's much easier is to move the shoulders back. So if you work at moving the shoulders back, it will help you to move the heart forward. Can you see now that her chest is forward of her shoulders? That's upward facing dog. Go back, rest. So just propping yourself up in your arms, what that's going to do is it's going to make you just sink into your lower back, and you'll feel it more in your lower back. The idea of upward facing dog is that it stretches your spine, and it should stretch the front of your body. So you should feel the stretch from the pubis all the way up through the front of the body. And when you bring the chin down, you'll also feel the stretch in the spinal column. But if you prop yourself up on your arm, so you're just sort of like suspended, like a swing, all you'll do is drop the hips and compress the lower back. Does that make sense? So the other thing is, just turn to face that way now. You can leave the mat the way it is. And come and do the same thing. Just put your hands on the floor and take your knees back a bit. So you know, last week we looked at this thing where we had the angle of the arms, the inner arms facing forward, yeah, for chaturanga. So just bend your elbows now for chaturanga. So that's a forward movement. And then when you come to upward facing dog, so you could just, are you okay like that? Yeah, good. So that's got a good angle now. That's much better. But because her inner elbows are forward, it's much easier for her to move her shoulders back. But the idea is that the shoulders will come back, not up, but back. And by moving them back, what you do is you move the heart forward. Elbow. I'm just relaxed now. If your elbows are in this position, so what I notice is, like, some people are like this when they go to chaturanga with the inner eye of the elbows slightly. Because the elbows go, when you come to upward facing dog, you're rotating your arms in and propping yourself on your arm. And then your shoulders stay stuck in the forward position. Does that make sense? Whereas you want your shoulders, just sit up. You want your shoulders in this position. So if you put your arms out in front of you, everybody do that. Okay, and now just rotate your inner arms towards each other. See what it does to your shoulders? Makes them want to lift. And it also kind of locks them when you've got weight in your hands, yeah? But if you rotate the inner elbows towards each other, don't worry about the position of your hands at the moment because they're not locked on the floor. If you put the inner elbows towards each other, it's easier to draw the shoulders back and down, isn't it? And that's what allows you to lift the heart up. And that's what you're looking to do in chaturanga. Thank you. So I would say half of you are using your arms as props, not as vehicles to draw your chest forward. So we need to work on it. Come into a kneeling position. Come into down dog, actually. And you can do it if you're strong enough. You know you're strong enough, you can do it in full chaturanga, or you can do it with the knees down. And then inhale, come to plank pose. And hold plank pose, that's chaturanga. Hold chaturanga, and at this point, your shoulders should be over your wrists. Yeah? Just arms straight, plank pose. Hips up, so you're in a plank, like a piece of wood. Yeah, good. And now exhale, lower your knees. And then bend your elbows straight back and move your heart forward. Don't go too far. And then inhale, come up to upward facing dog. Look down at your hands and see if your arms are behind your shoulders. Carol, yours are not. Sarah, your arms aren't straight. Sophie's, yours could go back even a bit more because you're flexible. Lynn, yours are way too far forward. Yours are too far forward. Yours are way too far forward. Yours look quite good, Julie. They can go back a bit more. Okay. So now you can see why I'm doing it. Does that make sense? Okay. So now go back into down facing dog. And now in your down dog, move your hands back a bit and shorten your stance. 3 or 4 inches. And then inhale, come into plank pose. Hands the width of your shoulders at least. And now exhale, bring your knees down, lower to chaturanga. Yeah, you won't go as low. And then inhale to upward facing dog. Yes, and move your chest and your shoulders forward and then slide your shoulders back. Slide your shoulders back and move your heart forward. It's hard, isn't it? And now exhale, downward facing dog. Do it one more time. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, bring the knees down. And then just bend the elbows a little bit. And then inhale, come to upward facing dog. And look at the person next to you and tell them if their hands are back behind their shoulders or not. Be honest. Somebody look at Lynn. What do you think? That's better, Lynn. No, that's better. Okay. Legs together, yeah. Yeah. Okay, is it making sense? I mean, it's kind of harder because you're not just using your arms to prop yourself up. So what you want to do, these are your options. We're going to spend a bit of time on this. I don't care how long it takes because it's really important. I mean, it hurts me when I see lots of people doing chaturanga and upward facing dog, and it kind of like I feel the pain. And it's like something you need to work on. You know, it's like it's not easy. They're difficult things. So if you come to here, and then you lower to chaturanga. When you come to upward facing dog, the shoulders are going forward of the wrists, yeah? And what that allows me to do is that my heart is already forward of my hands, but then I can draw my shoulders back. And as I draw my shoulders back, I feel it stretch through my lower abdomen. And I also feel it has a very different effect on the spine. So instead of feeling compression in my lower back, when I move the chest forward and bring the shoulders back, what I feel is extension in my upper spine, in my thoracic spine. And that's what you want to feel in upward facing dog. You don't want to feel lumbar. You want to feel upper spine. Yeah. And so this could be an option for many of you. Here, knees down, little chaturanga, and then a forward movement, dragging your knees a little bit along the floor to get somewhere about here. Does that make sense? Now that is much healthier. I can feel that's a much healthier movement for my spine than what most of you are doing, which is this. That's compressing my spine. It's pushing it back. And even if I now pull on my hands, it's very difficult to move forward. I've kind of made myself stuck because I haven't done the forward movement from here, chaturanga, forward. And then when you get there, shoulders back. I mean, it's not a huge movement, but boy, it makes a difference. And that just moves my heart forward, and then my chin goes down, and I can feel that action then. I can feel that pull on my whole spine. Yes? And that's what you want to try and practice doing. It doesn't work if your hands are not behind your shoulders. Doesn't have to be a lot, but it's got to be a bit. Yeah? And if you can't, and the other way you can do it is like, if your shoulders are just really practice this, getting your shoulders mobile, and so you can move them, move the scapula, move the shoulders freely down the back. And then when you're actually holding it in the posture, that movement feels like, well, we just did the sun salutation. Yes, do a standing sequence. Stand up. Face this way. Inhale, raise your arms. Exhale, hop or step your feet apart. Nice. Right foot out, left foot in. Inhale, pass back an Asana side flank stretch. Exhale, bend the knee. Go down, bring the forearm on the thigh or hand to the floor, top arm over beside the ear. And then inhale, come up, keep facing in the same direction. And exhale, go down again, forearm to thigh, top arm up and over. And inhale up. Nicola, lengthen your stance. Exhale, bend the knee, go down. Top arm up and over, or hand to the floor, 3 breaths. Ground the outside of the back foot and extend into the fingertips. Look at the side wall so your neck is relaxed. At the end of the exhales, draw your lower abdomen in and keep sinking the hip so that your back of the body goes straighter. Good. And then inhale, come up and take an exhale there. Keep the stance the same. Some of you turn your right foot out a little bit so it's in line with your knee and your hip. It's not turned in. And turn the back foot in a tiny bit. And then inhale, bring both arms up over your head and bring your hands into prayer. And then exhale, bend the right knee. Keep it in the center. And then inhale, and as you exhale, lean over to the right, just as much as you're comfortable, keeping strong with the arms straight. Breathe there. If you are comfortable, you can keep going down until your torso lays on your thigh. But only do that if you feel strong. Got long legs, you need to lengthen your stance. You've got to use your core, use your back leg, and use your strong Ujjayi breathing. Straighten your arms, Robert. And then inhale, come up. And exhale, hands to the waist. We'll miss out the twist today. And then inhale, turn the feet 30 degrees. And exhale there. Left foot out, right foot in. Inhale, raise the arms. Do 2 vinyasas to that side. And then on the 3rd time, hold. Arms just shoulder level. Helen? Yep. Do the first phase first. 2 vinyasas, 3rd time, hold. Some of you have got your legs way too close. You want a really nice long stance here so you can sink into the posture and it's much more stable then. Don't be frightened of having the legs wide. If you've got long legs, you've got to have lot of distance between your feet. And you take the pose for 3 breaths. Keep the top shoulder down so it connects with the outside of the back heel. And keep your lower abdomen sucked in and up. Keep the top arm straight, even if it isn't right by the ear. Open your chest more. Yeah. And then inhale, come up. And exhale there. Inhale, both hands over the head, hands in prayer. Exhale, bend the knee. Take an inhale. And then on the exhale, just lean over to the side, just as far as you're comfortable. Keep the knee over. No, not the foot, just the knee, yeah. You've got to work the back leg and work the core and try and have your arms straight. Good. Next phase in this is to raise the back leg and hold that for 3 breaths, but we won't do that today. And then inhale, come up. And exhale, bring the hands to the waist. Turn the feet 30 degrees. Inhale there. And exhale, hop or step the feet together. Turn to face the front, lead and return sequence. Inhale, arms widen overhead, flip your palms. Exhale, fold all the way, Uttanasana. Feet together, Helen, if you can, or as close as you can get them. And then inhale, exhale, squat down, Utkatasana, empty the lungs, forehead to knees. Shallow inhale into the back of the heart, hold. Lift the heels, hop or step, Chaturanga. Now think about this. Look where your hands are. Helen, your hands are way too far forward. And then inhale, come forward, upward facing dog. And exhale, stop. Okay, so you don't have to stop in upward facing dog, just stop. Well, you can do it, just we'll hang out, but you'll be there for 5 minutes probably. So when you come to Chaturanga, here, when you come forward, ideally you're learning to roll over the toes. Yeah? So you flip the toes, and if you do that, your chest is going to move forward of your wrists. Does that make sense? It's one of the reasons you roll over the toes. Now, okay, if you're not comfortable with it, you get used to it. I mean, at first it might feel a bit awkward, but some of you know how to do this. But here, Chaturanga, roll over the toes, you move forward. You can't, if you roll over, the toes are in the same position, and you roll over the toes, you're going to move forward, aren't you? Yeah? So what is happening to a lot of you, and it's one of the reasons that the hands are ending up too far back, is you're doing this. You're coming down and you're lowering the knees so you're in a prop position, and then you're going down, and then when you come up, you're still in that prop position, okay? Because your stance between your hands and your knees is too short. So what you've got to do is, like, when you come back and you come down into this position and you're going to lower to Chaturanga, that's when you've got to check. Move your hands back. Or just getting used to having, your knees, when you come into this position to lower into Chaturanga, make sure that distance isn't too short. And so you get more like this, and then like that, and then like that. Does that make sense? If you start off with that distance too short, then when you go to Chaturanga and come to upper foot, the whole thing's going to be too short. And if those of you who are not rolling the feet but doing this, feet don't move forward, do they? You know what I mean? And some of you are doing that, you're coming into this position, lowering, and then you're going like that, and sort of stopping yourself moving forward. So if you're not going to roll over the feet, when you do this, you want to come forward a little bit. And then go to your chaturanga. Oh, that's wrong. Yeah, after you've done the chaturanga, then you come forward a little bit as you turn the feet. So if you're just going to turn the feet, step them forward 1 inch. Don't just turn them exactly where they are, because you're losing the effect that you would have had if you'd have rolled over your toes. And that will, again, bring your chest forward. Yeah? Okay. Extend both legs. Sit in Dandasana. Find the front edge of your sit bones or sit on your block. Inhale, bend the right knee to your chest. Exhale, knee out, foot to your inner thigh or half lotus. Inhale, float the arms. And exhale, fold. Think about the breath. Ujjayi, inhale up. And lift and rotate towards a straight leg as much as you can. Strong arms, lift out of your hips. Not too much, Yasmin. Exhale, fold. Good, take hold of whatever you can reach. Round the back, drop the head, close the eyes, look navel. Just Janusasana, Sarah. Just straight Janusasana, yeah. Short inhales, count Om 3. Long exhales, count Om 6. And breathe there. Your knee. Bend your knee. No, this way. Like that. And then come forward. Hold your foot. Hold your toes. Good. And now just move, fold forward into your abdomen, touches your thighs, and then gradually start to move your foot away. So you get the movement in your hips. And then over time, you just gradually shuffle forward and then keep going. That's better. Flip the palms, inhale, come up. Turn to the right, exhale, fold inside the left leg, Parivrtta Janusasana, revolved, head to knee pose. You got it this time. Inhale, come up, turn to the front, lift a little more. The more lift you get, the more twist you're going to get. And then keep the length as you twist to the right and fold, aiming the elbow inside the knee. And you can stay there now and breathe. Take the hand hold, or keep the top arm up and over. Breathe. You're okay, Sophie, you can do it like that. And then flip the palms, inhale, come up. And turn to the front, exhale, both hands behind you. If you're in half lotus, you can keep in half lotus. And point the left foot, inhale, lift the hips up. Bring the sole of the right foot onto the floor, sorry. Sole of the right foot onto the floor, knee up. Inhale, lift up. Head back. You can stay in half lotus if you're in half lotus. Exhale, come down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, down. Pick the right foot up, put it outside the left leg. Flip the palms, inhale, both arms up. Exhale, twist to the right, take your pose. Hug the knee, hold the knee with the hand, thread and hold behind, whatever works for you. Inhale through your spine, exhale, twist, look over your right shoulder. Then close your eyes, look at the tip of your nose. Short inhales, long exhales. Pause at the end of the exhale. Optional, deepen the twist, but at least stop the breath and the mind. You need to get more upright, like that. So if all the weight's in the back hand, it stops you twisting, yeah? So you're always moving towards and keep the shoulder up and open like that. So you're always broad across the chest. Lovely. Keep that leg active. And then inhale, come to center. Arms over the head, flip the palms. Exhale, hands down, Dandasana. Inhale, bend the left knee. Exhale, knee out, foot to the inner thigh. 2 vinyasas, third time hold, or half lotus. When you lift up, get the twist. So when you go down, you don't have to make any adjustments. When you go down, you hold for 3 breaths with Asana Vritti breathing, unequal. Exhales twice the length of the inhales, optional pause and bandhas. You need to bend your knee. Bend the knee. Hold it, flex the foot, hold the foot. Good. And then just keep moving the foot away when the abdomen's on the thigh. Try not to hunch your shoulders quite as much and trying to get your shoulders level like that. Yeah, that's better. So if you had this hand there, it would help you keep your shoulders more level until you can hold your foot. Flip the palms, inhale, come up. Exhale, twist to the left and fold inside the leg. Inhale up. Twist to the front. Exhale to the left, fold again. Hold and breathe. 3 breaths, short inhales, long exhales. Don't make it any harder than it needs to be. That's good. So what you want is to be looking under that arm. So it's better to be like that and work on stretching. And inhale, come up. Exhale, hands 10 inches behind you. Pick the left knee up, sole of the foot to the floor or half lotus. And then inhale, come up. Point the inseam of the right foot down, then the hips up, then the chest up, then the head back. Exhale, come down. Do one. Inhale up. Exhale down. Pick the left foot up, put it outside the right leg. Inhale, both arms up, flip the palms. Exhale, twist the left. You want to be on the front edge of your sit bones. Take your posture. 3 breaths, short inhales, long exhales. Pauses between the breaths. Hug the knee, Nicola. Pull your spine more vertical. Don't pull your knee in, but pull your spine up. More like this. More straight. Bring your foot away so you can get more upright. Yeah, and then hold your knee to stabilize. Bring your head back a bit. And now bring your chin slightly down. Yeah, so you stretch here. Turn your head. And when you've looked at the furthest point of the room, close your eyes, look at the tip of your nose, breathe. Keep that leg active. Can you get that in your elbow crease? Yeah. Inhale, come to center, arms over the head. Exhale, Dandasana. Inhale, arms wide. No, legs wide. Exhale, inhale, arms over the head. And then separate the palms and exhale, fold forward. Round the back. Relax the neck. Inhale, flip the palms, come up, arch back a little bit at the top. Exhale, fold. Take 2 breaths there. Long exhales, gaze nabi, navel. Bring your forehead on the floor, Sophie, and round your back. And so you gaze at your navel and work on your bandhas. Flip your palms, inhale, come up. Exhale, hands behind you, 10 inches. Keep the feet wide, or you can bring them in a bit if you want, or you can bring them together and do tabletop if you need to. And then inhale, lift your hips, feet, legs, hips, chest, head may go back. Exhale down. One more. Inhale up. Stay there, exhale. Inhale, nudge your hips a little higher. Exhale down. Good. Feet together, Baddha Konasana. Open the knees wide, soles of the feet together. Hold the feet, lift the chest. Chin down, close the eyes. Look back, throat, Ujjayi breathing. Keep the head up and the chest up. The chin's very slightly down, but not a lot. Gaze heart. Keep the chest up. Good. And then come down onto your back and relax. Bring the hands close to the body and the feet together. Take a few breaths there, and then when you're ready, come into shoulder stand or half shoulder stand. And we're just going to hold for 10 breaths. So take your variation, whatever you're working on, or legs can be up the wall. You can have your torso at 45 degrees and your legs at 45 degrees with the knees bent, or if you're comfortable, you can lift into a straighter shoulder stand, but your face should be relaxed. So relax forehead, eyes, upper palate, soft palate, tongue. Turn the closed eyes down and gaze into the back of the throat, Ujjayi breathing. Five. And then do a variation. Exhale, bring your legs wide apart. Inhale there. Exhale, lower the feet towards the floor over your head. And then inhale, come up. Keeping the feet wide. Push out through the balls of the feet. Keep your legs strong. Keep the feet wide if you can. And then exhale, come down again. Good. If your feet don't come to the floor, keep your hands on your back. If they do, release the hands and hold your big toes. And then lift the hips up. Open the backs of the legs and lift the hips towards the ceiling. Take a couple of breaths there. If your feet aren't on the floor, keep your hands on your back and just keep pushing your hips up, because that's what makes your legs go down. Good. And then release the hands. Keep the legs wide if you can. This is only if your feet are on the floor. And extend the hands up in prayer between your legs. Push your hips up. Push your heels away. Take a breath. Good. And then lay the hands on the floor over your head. Backs of the hands on the floor. Bring the feet together. And then if you can, with the arms over the head, slowly roll down. Use your core, strong arms. Or come down in your normal way. And when you get there, roll onto your front. Bend your knees and hold your ankles. Counter pose the shoulder stand. Bow pose. Take your time, don't rush. Hold the ankles and do one vinyasa. And then second time, hold for a breath, but with the head back and the gaze towards the third eye. And then when you're done, bring your knees to get a bit closer together, Carol. When you're done, come down and turn over and relax in Shavasana. No rush, take your time. Roll your head a little bit side to side. And then rest for a few moments with your head turned to the right. Turn the head to the right. And then bring the head to the center and lift the head very slightly off the floor and turn it to the left. And just let the neck relax as you breathe. Feel any tension in your neck, then you want to bring your mind into it as you breathe in, prana. And then as you exhale, really let the breath go and release the tension. When you feel ready, you can bring your head back to center. Bring your feet wider than your hips. Turn your palms upwards and relax your shoulders. And completely relax. Om. Jaya Jaya Rati Vigna Vinayaka Vigna Vinayaka Sri Ganesha Jaya Jaya Rati Subramanya Subramanya Kartikeya Jaya Jaya Rati Venugopala Venugopala Venugopahola Papa Vidura Navanita Kohora Jaya Jaya Rati Ventakaramana Ventakaramana Shankatarahana Sita Radeshayama Jaya Jaya Rati Gauri Manohara Gauri Manohara Bhavani Shankara Samba Sadashiva Uma Maheshwara Jaya Jaya Rati Raja Rajeshwari Raja Rajeshwari Tripura Sundari Mahalakshmi Mahasaraswati Mahakali Mahashakti Jaya Jaya Rati Anjaneya Anjaneya Hanumanta Jaya Jaya Rati Datatreya Datatreya Timoti Avatara Jaya Jaya Rati Adichaya Adichaya Bhaskaraya Jaya Jaya Rati Sanicharaya Sanicharaya Bhaskaraya Jaya Jaya Rati Shankaracharya Shankaracharya Vyada Gurave Jaya Jaya Rati Sakrunatha Sakrunatha Shivananda Jaya Jaya Rati Agastya Munaye Agastya Munaye Shirama Pirine Jaya Jaya Rati Ayapa Swami Ayapa Swami Dhamma Shastave Jaya Jaya Rati Jesus Gurave Moses Gurave Buddha Gurave Jaya Jaya Rati Muhammad Gurave Guru Nanak Gurave Samasta Gurubhyo Namaha Jaya Jaya Rati Venugopala. Om. Om. Deepen your breath and bring your feet together and your arms by your side. Inhale, arms over your head. Left side, right side, both sides. Bend the knees, hug the knees. And roll to one side, make your way into seated posture. Left hand Chin Mudra, right hand Vishnu Mudra. First two fingers to the palm. Fingers touching the nostrils just above the bulb of the nose. Ujjayi Pratiloma. Exhale through both nostrils. Chest up, chin slightly down, back of the neck long. Inhale Ujjayi, both nostrils. Retain, close both. Exhale left, no sound. Inhale left. Retain. Exhale Ujjayi, both. Inhale Ujjayi, both. Retain. Now right, no sound. Inhale right. Retain. Exhale Ujjayi. Inhale Ujjayi, both. Retain. Exhale left, no sound. Just continue like that, or I'll just guide you through some mamas. Inhale left, look nose tip, third eye, soft palate, navel, perineum, retain, look heart. Exhale Ujjayi, both, look heart. Inhale Ujjayi, nose tip, third eye, soft palate, navel, perineum, retain, look heart. Exhale right, look heart. Inhale right, nose tip, third eye, soft palate, navel, perineum, retain, look heart. Exhale Ujjayi. Inhale Ujjayi, nose tip, third eye, soft palate, navel, perineum, retain, look heart. Exhale left. Use some arms if you wish to continue. Inhale left. Retain. Exhale Ujjayi. J is always through both nostrils. Inhale Ujjayi. Retain. Noise in the heart when you retain. Exhale right. On the exhale. Inhale right. Retain. Exhale Ujjayi. Inhale Ujjayi. Retain. Exhale left. Release the hand, Chin Mudra. Exhale, awareness, perineum. Silent breathing, inhale up the spine. Third eye, center of the skull. Exhale down. Center of pelvic floor, Muladhara chakra. Inhale up through the spine. Third eye, Ajna chakra. Exhale down. Inhale up, continue. Inhale up, so. Exhale down, hum. Inhale up to the heart. Rest the prana there, center of the chest, just in front of your spine. Mantra switches to Om or your personal mantra. The chest is slightly lifted, so the cave of the heart is open. And the mind drops into the heart, so the skull feels like a shell, just empty. All the prana, all the awareness, all the sensation is in the heart. Free of worry, free of stress. And just totally peaceful and happy, content. No past, no future, just totally here now. Resting everything you've got in the heart space. And using the mantra to replace the thoughts that rise in your mind. Allow the prana to flood out from your heart into every cell of your body, tips of your fingers, toes to the top of your head, full of prana, full of light. And your body feels like a vessel, free, spacious, and very light. You're aware of your whole body at once. Nothing left out. And then draw the prana back into your heart. Concentrate your energy there and begin to deepen your breath. Bring your hands into Anjali Mudra of your heart. Inhale deeply for Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Om Guru Sakrus Bhagavan Ki Jai. Remind yourself the intention you made for your practice. Namaste.